Welcome to the Daily Videcasting. Today, the U.S. Navy is fast roping onto ghost tankers in the Indian Ocean. Jason Wrong declares the death of coding. And Joni Ive finally designs a car, but it's not for Apple.
It is a chaotic Tuesday, to say the least. I mean, we are seeing a real collision today between the physical world and the digital one. The signal-to-noise ratio is just all over the place.
All right, let's cut right through that noise. Let's start with the lead story. We're looking at some, high-octane geopolitics on the high seas. There is a viral report circulating from @Marionawful that honestly feels like it was ripped straight out of a Tom Clancy novel.
It certainly has the visuals for it. It's cinematic, I'll give it that.
Exactly. So here's the situation. U.S. military forces have intercepted and seized a Russian-flagged tanker in the Indian Ocean.
Right.
This isn't a drill. They boarded the vessel, the payload, roughly 700,000 barrels of heavy Venezuelan crude oil that was bound for China. The footage that @Marionawful shared is it's intense. You see MH-60 helicopters hovering. You see Navy SEALs fast roping down onto the deck. It's what they're calling Operation Southern Spear.
It makes for incredible television. I mean, the visuals of special forces descending onto a rogue tanker, they are designed specifically to project strength.
Of course.
It says, we can reach you anywhere. But, if we peel back that layer of military pageantry, I have to ask, is this actually working? Because when you look at the data, the story really changes.
You're skeptical of the operation. I mean, it looks like a pretty decisive win on camera.
Oh, I'm skeptical of the strategic efficacy. Let's look at the context here. This seizure isn't an isolated incident, right? It's one of several recent interdictions. They're targeting what we call the shadow fleet.
We hear that term a lot lately. Can you define that for us? The shadow fleet.
Yeah, so these are basically aging vessels, often with really obscure ownership structures. They're registered in places with, lax oversight. They turn off their AI transponders, their location beacons to move sanctioned oil. It's a massive, ghostly logistics network.
And the U.S. is trying to crack down.
They're trying, but just look at what happened on January 29th with the MT Sophia.
I think I missed that one.
Well, the U.S. seized it, did a big victory lap, and then a court just invalidated the whole seizure, said it was based on flawed intelligence. They couldn't prove the chain of custody for the cargo.
You're kidding.
Nope. They had to return the ship to Venezuela.
That is slightly less cinematic than the helicopter footage.
It's a 40% failure rate in recent seizures. 40%. That's a coin toss.
Yeah.
If you are flipping a coin on whether your military operation holds up in court, that's a problem.
Right.
And the second order effects here are brutal for the global economy. This isn't just about stopping one ship. Because the U.S. is engaging in these really aggressive high seas boardings, shipping insurance costs have spiked by 18%.
Wait. Why does the insurance spike for everyone else?
Because the risk profile of the entire region changes. If you're Maersk or Hapag-Lloyd and you're just carrying legitimate goods, sneakers, microchips, grain, your insurer now looks at that route and says, there are Navy SEALs sliding onto decks in the zip code. That's a war risk. So premiums go up.
And we end up paying for that. It gets baked into the price of everything.
Precisely. We are importing inflation to stop a fraction of the flow. And so what? Here's the scale of it. Venezuela is evading something like $10 billion in annual export restrictions using these fleets. Catching one ship with 700,000 barrels, it's a drop in the bucket.
So it looks tough, but...
It looks tough, but is it effective enforcement, or is it just very expensive theater to make us feel like we're doing something about sanctions evasion?
It sounds like the classic difference between tactical success, getting the guys on the boat, and strategic failure. You stop one ship, but the whole fleet keeps moving.
And you spook the insurance markets in the process. It's a very high cost for a headline.
Okay, let's pivot from the physical oceans to the digital one, which is currently being flooded, and I mean absolutely flooded, with generative video. If you opened your timeline today, you saw Seedance 2.0.
You literally cannot miss it. It is absolutely everywhere.
The examples are just mind-bending. There's a post from Atman Choi showing a, quote, wild Marvel-style battle scene. We were talking Thanos, Thor's hammer, Captain America's shield, all in a 16-second clip.
Did you notice the physics in that clip, though?
That's the thing. Usually AI video jitters, right? Hands morph into claws, the lighting flickers, a hammer turns into a banana. This looked studio grade. The consistency was perfect.
That's the technical breakthrough here. It's called temporal consistency. In previous models, the AI would, forget what a character looked like from frame 1 to frame 30. That's why you get that weird, dreamlike morphing effect. Seedance 2.0 seems to have solved object permanence. It knows Thor's hammer is solid metal, and it stays that way.
And the speed is the killer feature here. I mean, the specs are terrifyingly good. You can generate 1-minute-long 1080p clips in under 5 minutes.
Under 5 minutes.
And it's not just action movies. At Yihuang Lu posted a clip of a Great Dane playing basketball against LeBron James.
I saw that one. The dog dunks.
The dog dunks. And it's funny, it's fluid, and it's semi-believable. It doesn't look like a glitchy nightmare. It looks like a high-budget commercial. And just to add fuel to this fire, Hydra Labs is launching a $10,000 Omnia competition for whoever can break the internet with their model.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because everyone is looking at the cool factor, and I'm looking at the economic crater this is about to create.
You think this is the end of Hollywood?
I think we're moving from the era of content creation to the era of content sludge. If you can prompt a Marvel battle in 5 minutes, the value of a Marvel battle drops to 0. But more importantly, think about the workflow. The visual effects industry, VFX, is built on armies of artists. You have modelers, riggers, lighters, compositors. They spend weeks rendering textures. Seedance 2.0 just did their job in 5 minutes.
So the barrier to entry is gone. If I have an idea, I don't need a whole studio.
But the barrier to quality control is also gone. I mean, sure, the Great Dane dunking is funny. It gives you a quick dopamine hit. But is it sustainable entertainment? Or is it just a sugar rush for social media? We're entering a phase where the volume of video content is going to explode, but the meaning, the human intent is going to get so diluted.
But isn't there an argument that this just democratizes storytelling? If I have a movie in my head, let's say a sci-fi epic, I can now just make it without $100 million.
Yeah.
Doesn't that unlock creativity?
That is the optimistic view, the whole Pixar in your pocket theory. The pessimistic view is that we just drown in infinite, mediocre, AI-generated noise. And look at the competitive landscape here. Sora 2 is already being outperformed on consistency. The speed of displacement is just staggering. We aren't talking about years for technology to mature. We are talking about weeks.
That speed of displacement brings us perfectly to our next topic, because if the VFX artists are in trouble, they are not alone. We have a trifecta of takes today on the future of work that are, well, they're controversial.
To put it mildly.
Let's start with Jensen Huang. At R0CK3T23, quoted the NVIDIA CEO saying something that would have sounded absolutely insane 5 years ago. He said, if you were a student today, you wouldn't learn to code.
The man selling the chips for the AI revolution is telling you not to learn the language of the machines. I mean, that is a bold position.
Exactly. He calls the new necessary skill expertise in artistry. He said the goal is learning to talk to the AI, to prompt it, rather than writing the C++ yourself.
It's a seductive idea, isn't it? The idea that we can all just be idea guys, and the machine does all the grunt work. But I take issue with that.
Why is that?
Because coding isn't just about syntax. It's not just knowing where to put a semicolon, right? It's about structural thinking. It's logic flows. If we stop teaching coding because the AI can do it, who fixes the AI when it hallucinates? Who understands the architecture when the black box breaks?
And you think we're de-skilling ourselves?
Massively. Jensen Huang talking about expertise in artistry sounds lovely. It sounds like we're all going to be creative directors. But to me, that phrase sounds like a polite way of saying middle manager of algorithms. We're handing over the keys to the kingdom and forgetting how the engine even works.
But he's not the only one beating this drum. We've got a post from @E16s featuring Elon Musk. He says he ignores resumes entirely now. He's looking for evidence of exceptional ability that he can only find in a 20-minute conversation. He doesn't care where you went to school.
You know, I actually agree with Musk on this one, but for a different reason. This is all about credential inflation.
What do you mean by that?
A degree costs a fortune today, but it signals less and less about your actual capability. If an AI can pass the bar exam and the medical boards, that piece of paper, the credential, it's just worth less. So evidence of ability becomes the only metric that matters. Can you actually build the thing?
So Musk wants builders. But then you have Yuval Noah Harari at New Start 2024 posted his take, and it goes in a totally different direction. Harari warns that AI replaces narrow cognitive skills, math, charts, engineering. He suggests the safe jobs are embodied skills.
Like martial arts.
Literally, yes. He thinks being a karate instructor or a nurse is safer than being a software engineer because it requires a physical presence and complex movement.
Okay, let's just critique this for a second because there's a dangerous assumption here. The idea that the future economy can run on prompt engineers and martial arts instructors it's a fantasy. It completely ignores the middle layer of the economy, the systems builders.
So you're not going to pivot your career to teaching jiu-jitsu?
I love jiu-jitsu, but it doesn't scale. We need builders. We need people who understand systems. If everyone is just talking to the AI, like Jensen suggests, or doing physical labor, like Ferrari suggests, we're just passengers in a car we don't know how to drive.
Speaking of cars we don't know how to drive, or at least cars we didn't expect to see,
Yeah.
let's talk design. Jony Ive is back.
The ghost of Apple passed.
Etna Cruz-Petain shared the news. Jony Ive, the guy who designed the iPhone, who gave us the touchscreen revolution, has designed the interior of the new Ferrari Luce. And the vibe is, it's surprising.
It's the anti-Tesla.
It really is. It's got tactile glass buttons, knurled knobs, rotating vents, almost no screens. It's being called the Apple car we never got. It's pure luxury, but it's looking backward to look forward.
It's a fascinating reaction, isn't it? We spent the last 10 years gluing iPads to dashboards.
Yeah.
Tesla started it, everyone followed. Now, true luxury is signaling that you don't need a screen.
It's analog as a status symbol.
Exactly. Innovation has looped around. And this ties back to what we were just saying about AI video. When everything is digital, synthetic, generated, the real becomes the premium product. Real leather, real buttons, real human interaction.
So the rich get knobs, and the rest of us get touchscreens.
In a way, yes. Efficiency is for the masses. Pleasant friction is for the wealthy. But I want to contrast this high-end design story with something much more pedestrian, but frankly, much more disturbing. We have a viral post from @HustleBitch comparing Fanta.
The soda.
They compared a bottle of UK Fanta to a bottle of US Fanta. Same brand, same size.
That's the difference.
The difference is staggering. The UK version has 22 grams of sugar. It's made with real orange juice. It's 96 calories, the US version. 73 grams of sugar.
73 grams. That's
It's
a great.
73 grams. And it's high fructose corn syrup, not sugar. It's 270 calories versus 96.
That is almost triple the calories. Why on earth is the U.S. product so much worse?
This is what I love about this kind of deep dive. We're connecting Jony Ive to corn syrup. It's a policy choice. It's the second-order effect of U.S. agricultural subsidies making corn syrup cheaper than water, combined with loose FDA regulations that allow that level of sweetener.
So in the UK, Fanta is a treat. In the U.S., it's liquid candy.
It's metabolic poison, and it highlights this massive cultural divide. We have Ferrari selling tactile knobs to the ultra-rich because screens are cheap, and simultaneously we have the general American public being fed 73 grams of sugar in a single drink because corn is cheap.
That is a bleak but
Wow.
an accurate juxtaposition. You have the wealthy retreating into these curated analog experiences, real buttons, real sugar, while the mass market gets automated sludge, whether it's AI video or corn syrup.
It's the bifurcation of quality. The real becomes a luxury good. Artisanally crafted by humans is going to be the new premium label, whether it's for a movie or a soft drink.
All right, before we sign off, I need your daily prediction. We've talked about ghost tankers, AI displacing Hollywood, the death of coding, and sugary sodas.
Yeah.
Where's the puck going tomorrow?
I'm looking at that Sedence 2.0 story and the Hedger competition. My prediction for tomorrow or very soon is a massive deepfake controversy involving a major political figure.
You think we're there? The tech is that good now.
The tech is there. That wild Marvel battle proves consistency is solved. Someone is going to drop a video of a world leader saying or doing something they absolutely never did. It will be indistinguishable from reality. And the platforms are going to panic.
Yeah.
We're going to see a scramble to update labeling policies that will make today's news look tame.
A terrifying thought to leave us on. The tools are here, but the rules are not.
We're building the plane while flying it, as usual.
Well, on that note, keep your head on a swivel and your vibes calibrated. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.